I think for many Transformers fans, the one series people look back passionately to is Beast Wars. It took the elements of the original series and built many core lore aspects that all the series, movies, expand and use today. From stasis pods, how sparks work, stasis lock, fusing organic and inorganic systems, fully programmed animal forms, even showing us that there's more than just Autobots, Decepticons, Maximals, and Predacons, with Tarantulas being from another offshoot of the race. Stories that you don't forget. Megatron nearly killing Optimus Prime, building friendships between enemies, Dinobots saving the human race, and then being perverted into a clone 2 times. Those 3 seasons packed a wallop. But its continuation, Beast Machines, no one really talks about. What happened with it? What's good? What's bad that went on with seasons 4 and 5 of Beast Wars? I give Beast Wars a lot of praise for what it did, but it's got some problems. Season 1 was a nice beginning of the series. It went through each of the characters and set up a lot of ideas that paid off in the following seasons, but some really got overlooked. Optimus Primal, Rhinox, Airazor, and Tigatron. What do you mean Primal got overlooked? He did. Primal has been in important episodes. He's died in the season finale. He's virtually used all the time. Saved the ship from pancaking into the ground. Got brainwashed and used to gain access to the Ark. But how many episodes were about him, who he is? Not that many. Rhinox, I don't really need to explain. I've always liked him. He's got a handful of nice episodes. My favorite was the Blind episode. But at a certain point, Rhinox did zilch. 1, he didn't even get a transmetal form. 2, he's always stuck being repaired. They turned that into a joke. More and more, he kept getting neglected to just saving everyone at the last minute. Even Black Arachnia started taking over his tech job. He just kept getting further and further away from the camera.
Prime.
Introducing new characters was one of the fun parts of Beast Wars. Many of them had some weird issues, like Inferno. Quickstrike was the cowboy. Silverbolt is Silverbolt. You have Rampage and Depth Charge's mini-war. Black Arachnia going from evil to evil good. But then they had Tigatron and Airazor. What happened there? Tigatron had his connection to the planet. He was the one who always told the Maximals to respect it. He's that deep philosophical character. Airazor, she got no focus episode. Then when they finally got brought back 3 episodes before the series finale, the Tigerhawk character was killed off, and that was it. These are pretty big gripes I have with the show, and I haven't even talked about Scorponok and Terrorsaur being insta-killed in Season 2. Okay, so what does that all mean for Beast Machines? The show did 2 improvements in this area. First, the writers realized that Optimus Primal was neglected during the later half of Beast Wars. Beast Machines brought Optimus into a different light. While he was being leader in Beast Wars, he was tormented day after day of his friends dying. He blamed himself, in return doubted himself, which eventually affected him in Beast Machines. There were episodes where he wanted to walk away and made some bad calls. This did help Cheetor. He was forced into becoming a leader, getting that ball rolling, building on his character while building Optimus. Second good thing about Machines was the handling of new characters. I think the problem was that doing CG in those days was expensive, so having a large voice cast was an issue. You could see they focused mainly on Rat Trap, Dinobot, and Silverbolt because Scott McNeil voiced all of them. Beast Machines made sure to keep the cast size in a reasonable range so that this whole ping-ponging didn't happen. We need new villains that also affect the Maximals personally. They made them. They came up with Night Scream, but Botanica, used as backstory to explain what happened to Cybertron and solving Cybertron's problems. Done and done. They had purpose. And if you want to talk about the technical side, the CGI got better. The team fell in love with shadows a little too much, but with Beast Wars almost never having shadows, I don't blame them. Now to the bad. Personally, this is the main reason why I didn't care for Beast Machines as much. It's not for every series, but a bulk of the shows usually take place on Earth or places like outer space. We don't always get to see Cybertron. Beast Machines finally has the crew return to their home planet, and it's all dead and empty. It's always dark, it's always gloomy, and because most of it is either damaged or blocked by Megatron, never see the planet in its full glory. With this, they dropped those bits of story set up in Beast Wars like the Secret Police, the Tripedicus Council. They're the ones who prevented the Maximals from seeing the transwarp wave. There were things that they could have continued back on a fully functional Cybertron. The other side of the problem is the drastic change done to the plot line. I don't totally hate it. There's cool ideas. It gives us the origins of the planet and answers how the Transformers came to be. It became this organic and cybernetic fight between the two sides of Cybertronians, but it went away from the usual type of fighting. To protect the planet's goo, Optimus Primal turned more into a monk. Next was the character designs being really different. They're not bad, but losing the old designs so fast, especially Transmetal 2 Black Arachnia, that was like, what, a total of 4 episodes? I felt burned. Plus, these forms are weaker than even their original Season 1 forms. Remember how many weapons Primal had? 2 wrist-mounted cannons, 2 swords, 2 shoulder cannons. Beast Machine's Optimus has the chest blast. Radtrap was the demolition guy and a sharpshooter. His Transmetal form gave him a handy fishing tail. His tires were mini shields. All he has now is wheel mode. Cheetor had a gun. Transmetal 1 and 2 had him fly. He now has swords. Black Arachnia had her gun, which can shoot, poison you, disable you, act as a grapple hook. Her legs shot bullets. Her TM2 form didn't get much screen time, but assuming everything was kept, adding a shocker power, and she got reduced down to the webbing and shock power. Oracle, why are you giving them downgrades? As a writer, having your fully powered up characters from seasons past brings problems, but they were already outmatched with the state they were in on the planet. Make the new designs. You need to sell toys. Changing the looks every now and again is fine, but you don't need to pull a Metroid. I think also another problem they had was its comedy. Beast Wars' writers were pretty on the ball when and where to pull off a joke. Here's an example. Rattrap is the comedy guy, always whines when he has to do something, but when Dinobot screwed up, when he wasn't sure which side to be on once they found out about Earth, Rattrap didn't make a single joke during that whole scene. Only after Dinobot didn't kill him and told the truth did he reopen his mouth on Dinobot. With Beast Machines, most of it is serious. We have Primal listening to the Oracle, Black Arachnia trying to figure out how to save Silverbolt, Cheetor is worrying about Optimus and him taking command, and all of them are trying to deal with their lost memories. But then you have Rattrap screw up his transformation system, so we kept going back and forth. It really didn't work. Even Black Arachnia started getting the hang of being funny, but then comes Beast Machines. Poof, we lose the quippy nature. I also have to talk about the whole meditating to transform stuff. I really didn't like it. They started putting obstacles where there really shouldn't be obstacles. To me, the
I am transformed
relearning made no sense. Wasn't the whole point of deleting the programming block in Season 1 to merge both Beast and Bot, the organic and inorganic sides, their personal journeys? Why would they have problems transforming for the Oracle then? They already accepted their other sides. Also saying I am transformed wasn't as cool as
maximize.
Even the showrunners knew that, so no one said it again in Season 2. I understand them wanting to be different. You shouldn't repeat yourself. They've just told the story on Earth. The Maximals needed a new conflict with the Predacons, but Beast Machines came out of left field. There just wasn't enough setup between the two seasons. The thing I still don't get is Megatron's change between the two shows. The time jump explains how he gained power, but him hating on organic material? It comes out of nowhere. What pushed him to despise his beast mode? A beast mode, I remind you, came from the original Megatron Spark. I totally understand him taking control of all the Sparks. Everyone's failed him. He's cloned Dinobot, betrayed him. He couldn't really control Rampage. Black Arachnia went to the good side. That hatred and anger towards people failing him every single time works. Just not the other stuff. Out of all the characterization differences between Beast Wars and Machines, this is the one I can't accept. Not to mention the whole problem of getting rid of his beast mode. Why is that a thing? You know how many times Waspinator was blasted into scrap, crushed into a cube, and CR chambers are able to repair and restore their bodies? But Megatron can't simply reset himself to his bare Cybertron body we see at the start of Beast Wars. He can de-evolve the Maximals, but somehow can't fully revert them to base form. Especially when they dealt with a plot hole with Nightscream, when he told everyone that they all got DNA scanner upgrades installed, while Optimus and the others were away. So they can incorporate their transformation scanning system into their own bodies, but don't have the ability to reset their own bodies.
Hurt.
I hate saying this, I wish Megatron wasn't used in Season 2. After 4 years, he got old. They had an out, but they still had to screw up Rhinox. One of the few episodes they did with him, he's like yin and yang. The big side story of Machine Season 1 was the Maximals lost their memories, along with Silverbolt and Rhinox. The twist was that Rhinox and Bolt sparks were used in the enemy's vehicons they were fighting. Then it got even more crazy. Rhinox was conscious. While the others did have their memories blocked, Rhinox actually turned evil from his own choice. I went, oh, you're going to do it. You're going to make this personal for Optimus. You're going to use Rhinox, get rid of Megatron. This could be interesting. The bot who's tormented by losing friends and officers under his command, and he now has to stop his oldest friend. And that all gets thrown out in Season 2. Rhinox dies and quickly understands what he did was wrong.
Oh no.
It is a huge risk in making a character people love go bad. Look at Tyr and Andromeda. But that was done bad. This had a chance because he was so neglected. It fit. They had a logical basis of this starting, and he would have been a new enemy. I think it was a mistake to not go down this route. Other things that got confusing was the Oracle and Vector Sigma. Vector Sigma is basically Cybertron's supercomputer core and connection to the Cybertronian afterlife. Beast Machines basically made it so that Vector Sigma is two things: the organic side that wants to restore balance of the planet and the voice of all the sparks, plus the cyborg side that still functions as Vector Sigma. And as long as you have its key, control it. Which is it though? How can you be the evolved form of Sigma while still having the core of the planet not be under your control? It's confusing and doesn't really make much sense. They're trying to use Sigma's G1 lore as an explanation. Sigma does not choose sides or take part in the war. Whoever wields the key can transform organic matter into metal. But the Oracle is the evolved form of Sigma and the Matrix. Just take control of yourself and complete your task. Saving Cybertron from Megatron should have been the sole objective. Stealing the sparks of all the Cybertronians was already horrible. The organic balance is really not important. But the organic elements could have been used for this story. Botanica was a really cool idea. Autobots and Decepticons took forms of vehicles or technology. Beast Wars took forms of animals. Botanica took forms of plants. I always wondered if other forms could be adapted, such as energy and liquids, forces like wind or gravity. Expand on the transformations. That could be a part of it, just not the other stuff. What do I think of Botanica? Nightscream, Obsidian, Strika, Jetstorm, and Thrust. Nightstream was the new young kid that joined the Maximals. I liked him for what he did. He was saying things that the other Maximals wouldn't normally say. He's brand new. He doesn't know who Primal is. He's going to doubt him being a leader, which made Cheetor see the bigger picture. But it sucked because of the limited episodes they had with this huge story. Cheetor never got to interact much with Nightscream. He was much like him in the older seasons. Impulsive, outspoken, rash. I wish they had connected more. Botanica, while she entered the show pretty late, she was unique from her appearance to her requirements in needing to be connected to the planet to survive. Although, how does that work if the planet's dead? She's really the only one who understands plants. A bunch of robots aren't going to get plants need a certain type of sun. I think my only gripe was that she didn't engage in fights much. Her personality was fun, soft, and strong, but you can see in her face all the confusion with everyone. The whole rat trap love thing came out of nowhere, but it's always the trope of opposites attract. I would like another series to expand on plant transformers. For the villains, the two generals, Obsidian and Strika, yeah, they were not good. Their personalities and what they could do, fine. Strika doing that whole rollerblading thing, it was one of the few things that was funny. But they had no brains for themselves. They're generals. They only care to follow whoever's in power. No care in the world, or if they die. They could have done more with them. Jetstorm and Thrust, that was a really nice twist. Stealing the sparks of Silverbolt and Waspinator, turning them into Vehicons. Yeah, Megatron would do something sick like that. The only thing I really hated was Waspinator coming back. I wanted him to stay on Earth and just die happy, as long as he didn't mess with time. But no, gotta torment him. Now, Noble/Savage, this really didn't make sense to me. I honestly wish they hadn't done it. He's impactful to Nightscream, but for the universe, he's confusing. Basically, this guy is the leftovers of when Megatron purged his beast mode. How does this work? Their beast modes are organic. That's how they protect themselves from energon buildup, and when they replicate the animal, this also means the animal personality and instincts are copied too. But that's it. How does Noble work? Megatron's spark and his head store the mind of Noble. That would just be erased. And how is the organic matter doing anything? It has no body, it's just a skin. I'm trying to think of ways for this to work, but it doesn't. Too many questions, too confusing. The ending of the series as a whole, Cybertron fusing into a living planet, it looked cool. I mean, it did lose its distinct appearance. They saved the sparks, they saved the planet, Megatron finally gone, and I didn't have a problem with Optimus Primal dying. He cheated death thanks to Rhinox. He served his time as Maximal Leader. He deserved the rest. It's hard to place Beast Machines. I'm not going to flat out say it's crap, but it was a disappointment compared to Beast Wars. If they had made the story less dense, cut out the organic plot, or the whole beast forms are evil, I think it would have worked out better. When you mishmash all of it, it got confusing. Those plot lines in Beast Wars never get answered. The show was almost there, and then damn it. It would be cool if they continued Beast Wars' story in a new series. What Cybertron is like post-merging. They can still use the whole Tripedicus Council as a new baddie to this series. And of course, bring back some of the old characters over time. Maybe it's because Beast Wars felt like a solid conclusion. It bit people the wrong way, so it ends up being pushed to the wayside. Thanks for checking out the review. Subscribe if you want to see more. And if you remember a movie or a show that's long been forgotten, good or bad, leave it as a suggestion below. I'm always on the lookout for obscured stuff.